Guys, what's going on? James here, and today we're going to be talking about the Buccaneers' need at cornerback, not defensive back as a whole, because if you really think about it, safety isn't too big of a need, at least in terms of my eyes and the eyes of the team. But if you guys want to let me make a separate video on these safeties, go ahead and hit the like button and let me know it in the comment section below. And also, if you want to talk about the Buccaneers cornerback situation, who you think they should sign, who you think they should possibly trade for, which we will look into that a little bit, also let me know down in the comment section below. But today we are talking about the cornerback situation. Now, this one's very interesting because if you think about it, the Buccaneers don't necessarily have the best cornerback situation in the world. As it stands right now, they only have two cornerbacks under contract, and that is Vernon Hargreaves III and Ryan Smith. Now, the Bucs Jason Licht has been stated saying that he is going to continue forward with Vernon Hargreaves III, and that's fine. I have no problems with that. Former first-round pick. I think he's fine. He's only a couple years into his career anyway. I have absolutely no problems with that. In terms of depth, though, Ryan Smith isn't the best option. I think if you really... I think at best he's competition, so it's not the best option right now. So really, in terms of at least starting caliber cornerbacks, all we have right now is Vernon Hargreaves III, and that's pretty much it. So what are we going to do? Well, one of the main problems that the Bucs have right now is Brent Grimes and the entire situation involving him. Is he going to retire? Is he going to re-sign with the Bucs, or is he going to leave in free agency? These are his three options, and two of them are very scary. Two of them are very scary because we don't want Brent Grimes to retire, and we also don't want him to leave for free agency. However, it's really up in the air right now. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. We've really heard no word on it in the past couple of weeks. Free agency is only a few days away. It starts, I believe, the 14th, but the 12th is when you can start the legal tampering period. Obviously, there's going to be stuff before then anyway, so we're less than a week away before guys can start signing contracts. So we don't have much time left to get Brent Grimes on the table. So we're gonna assume that Brent Grimes is either going to retire or hit free agency for the sake of this video. Now, I could be wrong, and we could sign him like tomorrow or something. But for the sake of this video, we are just going to assume that Brent Grimes is either going to A, retire, or B, leave for free agency and just not re-sign with the Bucs. So the only two cornerbacks we have are Ryan Smith and Vernon Hargreaves III, and that's what we're going to work with for the purposes of this video. Now, let's look into some possible free agents that the Buccaneers could sign. First name up is Tremaine Johnson. Now, this one's really interesting. He's the former Los Angeles Rams now. It's going to be weird saying that, but the former Los Angeles Rams cornerback. He last year, I believe, he played on the franchise tag, which is fine. A lot of teams are going to value him very highly. Obviously, playing on the franchise tag last year, the Rams valued him very highly, so you're going to figure that other teams are going to value him highly as well. The Rams just placed their franchise tag on LaMarcus Joyner, so Tremaine Johnson is officially hitting free agency. But what kind of money is he going to command, and is he interested in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Well, and are the Bucs interested in him, I guess we should say? Well, it's very interesting because as it stands right now, there's already rumors floating around that there's going to be two teams that are going to be fighting for the services of Tremaine Johnson, and that is the Oakland Raiders, boo, and the San Francisco 49ers, double boo. So it's not a very good situation with Tremaine Johnson. Would I like him? Yes, I would. But also, there's a certain type of cornerback that the Bucs like. I believe they like shorter, like kind of smaller cornerbacks. Tremaine Johnson, I believe, is 6 foot. I mean, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I believe it was something about liking cornerbacks who play press coverage as well, which Vernon Hargreaves has done, and he looks better when he does that. So maybe that's the type of cornerback that Mike Smith and Jason Licht and Dirk Cutter are all looking for. And I don't necessarily know if that's the kind of player that Tremaine Johnson is. And also, I feel that the Bucs might just get outbid flat out by the Oakland Raiders, or especially the San Francisco 49ers, who can literally just throw as much money as they want at free agents, and everything will be fine. So, don't know about Tremaine Johnson. I really don't think he's going to be going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in my opinion. The second quarterback option, though, is a little bit better. It's Malcolm Butler, the disgruntled cornerback from the New England Patriots, who was benched in the Super Bowl. Not good. Not good at all, actually. Dude was benched in the Super Bowl. Very upset about it. Very, very sad about it. He feels he won top cornerback money. Maybe that's gone down a little bit now, considering his current situation. A lot of people are questioning his leadership and whatnot. Maybe that'll bring down the price tag, and if it does, I think the Bucs could be interested. We really don't know. It's really hard to tell if Malcolm Butler is just a subject of the Patriots system of churning out just these really good players from nothingness, or if he's genuinely just a top cornerback in the league. We don't know yet, and it's kind of risky because we've seen in the past that players who go to the New England Patriots, like if you're a player going to the New England Patriots, you turn out to be, you could be really good, but if you're leaving the Patriots, you might not have such a great time. Point example, more recently, I guess you could say, is cornerback Darrelle Revis, who went to New England, played pretty good, won a Super Bowl, left New England, and just flopped hard. He went to, I believe, the Jets and the Chiefs, and I believe he's out of the league right now, so that one's pretty interesting. Again, Malcolm Butler, he's a little bit shorter. I believe he's 5'11". I'm not sure how he is in press, but I still think the Bucs, I pretty much think that the Bucs should be interested in everybody on this list to a certain degree. Another name was Vontae Davis. Unfortunately, he did sign with the Buffalo Bills. I think he would have been a great depth piece, but he's gone. David Amerson also signed with the Chiefs. He's gone. He's out of it. E.J. Gaines is the next cornerback, the former Buffalo Bills cornerback, who's actually come on pretty strong as of late. He's still relatively young. I believe he's 27? Don't quote me to that. 25 to 27. I know he's around that age, so still pretty young. I feel he can be a solid number 2 to number 1. A lot of these guys are a kind of career number 2 cornerbacks, which is kind of worrying, but not too worried about it. Honestly, we will take any cornerback we can get. I believe he's 5'10", if I'm correct, which is fine. You know, again, it fits that kind of mold I was telling you guys earlier about liking shorter cornerbacks, which is, again, I assume what Mike Smith and Jason Light and Dirk Cutter want, who can play press coverage. I'm pretty sure E.J. Gaines can play press coverage, if I'm correct. So I like him a lot. E.J. Gaines is probably going to be a name that the Bucs are interested a lot, because there's going to be a lot of interesting names out there who are going to be getting a lot of attention, and I think E.J. Gaines could be one of those guys who flies a little bit under the radar while guys are getting big interest, like your Tremaine Johnsons and your Malcolm Butlers. And your next guy here, actually, he might not get as much interest, is Kyle Fuller, Chicago Bears quarterback. Now, it was reported today that it was reported today that Kyle Fuller did get the transitional tag, because what the transitional tag means is that any offer that that a team gives to Kyle Fuller, the Chicago Bears can match it. So that's pretty unfortunate. Kyle Fuller is probably going to stay with the team, which is very unfortunate. He was a guy that a lot of Bucs fans wanted, and I wanted him too, and it's unfortunate to see him go. Another popular guy that a lot of people have been taking a look at, and who's probably going to have a pretty interesting and full market, is former Jacksonville Jaguars cornerback Aaron Coleman, who was kind of obviously pushed down the depth chart because of Jalen Ramsey and AJ Bouye, but Aaron Coleman's actually a pretty good cornerback in his own right. He's a little bit taller, again, 6 foot tall, but I still think he's a very good cornerback. He might not fit that mold, that under 5 foot mold that apparently Mike Smith and Dirk Cutter seem to like with their cornerbacks, but I still think he can be a very productive cornerback. I do believe he can play press. I'm not too sure. I haven't looked into a lot of these cornerbacks game film, unfortunately. I just haven't had time, but obviously there's a long list of cornerbacks, and quite frankly, we will take most of the cornerbacks that we can get. So again, Aaron Coleman's another name that might float a little bit under the radar, but we'll just have to wait and see. Prince Amukamara, another guy. You know, there's a lot of cornerbacks here that I could really name off 100 of them. I could name off every cornerback and be like, oh, that guy's not bad. You know, that's just kind of how, like, it's a pretty decent cornerback free agency class. But Morris Claiborne is the next one. Morris Claiborne is actually, to be honest, Morris Claiborne's probably going to be a guy who might join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's pretty much exactly what the Bucs are looking for in terms of cornerback, and he's probably going to get a multi-year deal from a team, and that's more than likely than not going to be the Bucs. I'm just going to say it now. I'm pretty confident in that. I won't say for sure it's going to happen, but I'm pretty confident that Morris Claiborne is probably going to join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, we have loads of names. We have literally loads of names here. We have Rashawn Melvin, Nikhil Roby-Coleman, Coleman, Byron Maxwell, Tremaine Brock. The list goes on and on and on and on. You know, and you even have guys like Ross Cockrell. They could bring Brent Gaines back maybe, but we're just assuming that, you know, he doesn't. Sterling Moore, we could always bring back Sterling Moore. He'd always be an interesting option. Leonard Johnson, we could always bring back as well. He's kind of had a rejuvenated career, I guess you could say, with the Buffalo Bills. So there's a lot of cornerbacks out there that could provide some pretty decent depth, in my opinion. But let's go from the free agency avenue to the trading avenue now, I guess you could say. Now, there's a few cornerbacks out there that have been generating some buzz for trades. Not necessarily cornerbacks as much, but defensive backs. Now, the first name I'm going to be mentioning is a big name, and that is Richard Sherman. That's Richard Sherman probably isn't going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll just say this now. I don't even say probably. I'm pretty confident that he is not going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but it's an avenue the Bucs could explore. They've done it before. They traded for Darrelle Revis, so the Bucs aren't above making that kind of move. At least the Glazers aren't. So it could happen. You never know. But probably not going to happen. I think the Bucs need all of their draft picks, and I really don't want to see them trade away much, if anything, to get a player that they just flat out, we don't know how they're going to be. You know, Richard Sherman's kind of on the tail end of his career in a way. His play's fallen off a little bit. He's not as locked down and dynamic as he once was. He's still one of the best cornerbacks in the league for sure. If not top 10, like if not top 5, top 10, you know, still amazing. But I would say his play has dropped a little bit, and I don't want to give up the amount that it would take to get him. Another cornerback that has been kept in mind is a defensive back, I guess you could say. He could play cornerback with Tyrann Mathieu. A lot of Bucs fans really want Tyrann Mathieu. Bucs players want Tyrann Mathieu. A lot of people want Tyrann Mathieu. He could be released, honestly, and we could play him at quarterback. It just kind of depends. I don't think the Bucs are going to trade for Tyrann Mathieu. I think it's purely, a lot of this is just purely like fan-generated buzz at this point, which is fine. I love fan-generated buzz. In fact, I do my fair share of generating buzz for the Bucs fan base, I guess you could say, for BucsNation, you know. But I don't think he's going to get traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If anything, he's probably going to get released before he gets like 16-something million guaranteed or something like that, and then the Bucs can sign him. Will they sign him? Probably. Maybe. I don't know. I'm confident that they'll at least try. Jason Light likes him. Brenton Buckner obviously likes him. A lot of people like him. Bucs players like him. If Tyrann Mathieu gets released, expect the Bucs to have a certain amount of interest, and they might actually play him at cornerback. It just kind of depends. Tyrann Mathieu's versatile in that way, where he can play cornerback and safety, kind of like a guy I'm about to mention here when we transition to the draft. And the Bucs pick at number 7. You have 2 guys I think they could take. They could take one guy at number 7 if he drops, or you could trade back a little bit and still pick up the second guy. And that is Derwin James and Minkah Fitzpatrick. Both guys have been rumored to be insanely versatile. They've both kind of had the same type of combine. Derwin James did have a little bit of a better combine. I know Bucs fans are really torn on both of these guys, but it's kind of whittled down to, it's either we want like a guard like Quentin Nelson, realistically, we want a guard like Quentin Nelson, or we want either Derwin James or Minkah Fitzpatrick. And there's going to be a big debate for these two, comparing each other for probably their whole careers to a certain degree. But both these guys can play safety, and both of them can play cornerback. Now, it's very interesting to see if the Bucs do end up drafting one of them, where would they play them? Would they play him at quarterback? Would they play him at safety? What's going to happen? A lot of people have been comparing these two to like Jalen Ramsey-esque. Very versatile guys. You know, they can play both positions very well. The Bucs could look into getting both of them. Not both of them. They could be looking into getting either one. Could you imagine if they got both of them? That'd be crazy. But I think the Bucs are going to take a look into that. They're very Tyrann Mathieu-esque, whereas they can play both cornerback and safety, and it just kind of depends on where you want them. So that's kind of the Bucs' options at cornerback, obviously. We don't know what they're going to do yet, but they need to build up that cornerback depth. I'm thinking they should add at least 4 to 5 cornerbacks this offseason. Obviously, not all of them are going to be getting like millions of dollars on multi-year deals. A couple of them are just going to be like, oh, 1-year deal, you know, veteran minimum deals, you know, like kind of camp bodies. We need to bring in a couple of camp bodies, in my opinion. And I think we have a lot of business to attend to. I think we're going to be making a lot of like bleh signings where people don't get excited about at the cornerback position, just for camp, for depth purposes, you know. But I do feel we are going to make a couple of splashy moves. We could also bring back Jude Ajay-Barima, which please bring him back. I love Jude Ajay-Barima so much. I think he'd be very quality depth for this team, and he should come back, honestly. I think he will. I'm pretty confident that he will come back to the team, but the Bucs probably are going to spend a little bit of decent money at the cornerback position, and really, if I had to put a number on a guy that I would expect to come to the team, I would say probably Morris Claiborne and probably like a guy maybe like Aaron Colvin or EJ Gaines. They might get 2 starting caliber cornerbacks, at least for the Bucs, because let's be honest, you know, we need all the help we can get. But it's going to be really interesting to see. So, again, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see another video on the safeties, go ahead and hit that like button and let me know down in the comments section below what cornerbacks do you want the Buccaneers to be signed, what kind of contracts do you expect these cornerbacks to get, and what kind of cornerbacks would you be comfortable with, and what kind of money would you be comfortable with giving to them? Do you have a certain cornerback that you want the Bucs to trade for, sign? You know, let me know all of that down in the comment section below, and I will gladly talk with you guys about it, because I like building our MrBucsNation community, guys. We're building this together, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I'm so happy all of you can be a part of it. We're about to hit 700 subscribers, and I really can't thank you enough. Our goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers before the Hall of Fame game, and I really think we can do it, guys, and we're going to do it together, and I'm so excited to do this. But I hope you guys all enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video, but until then, goodbye for now, guys.